Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Happy Sketchbook Sunday. I hope you're having a great week. This week, instead of doing the time lapse I usually post, I thought it would be fun to look through the sketches that I did on vacation. As you know, I took a week off, went out into the woods of Maine, rented a cabin on a lake like we do every summer, and just, chilled. I read, I swam, kayaked, paddleboarded, did some painting, did some reading. Did I say that already? I don't know. But we're gonna just have a look at my travel sketchbook here. So I'm just gonna skip ahead. I've got some in these different books, and I'll just we'll work our way through. If it seems like it takes no time at all to look at those, then maybe I'll do a flip through of an older sketchbook that I don't think I've ever done a sketchbook flip through, honestly. So we'll start with this one. This was one of the sketches. I wasn't very happy with it. I swatched out my colors in my portable painter, which, by the way, took a bad fall because I was sitting on the ground and I had my portable painter open and the dog came tearing through and she stomped on it and it like bent and snapped some of the little hinges on the end that holds the water cup. So I brought it home. I used some adhesive, some industrial strength adhesive. I think it's all right, but that was kind of scary. So these were just a water lily sketch, and I wasn't really pleased with that. So I decided I would go do it again, and I like how this came out. And this technique here of how I used pen on everything that was above the water and just the reflections and anything under the water didn't have pen. I liked that technique a lot, and so I repeated that technique a couple different times. I did it here with these frogs. This was a frog that was actually there in the pond there, resting on a rock, and it stayed for a long time. I did this sketch first, and then it swam away, and then I noticed it was back in a different spot, and I sketched him again. And because I didn't have enough value contrast, because everything is just kind of like this, shades of brown pretty much, I was able to use just a pit pen to get some detail on the parts of the frog that was above the water, and I thought that was really effective. So maybe it's something you might want to try in your own sketchbook. I think that nothing else in here is from this trip. And then I used this book a few times. Let's see, where did I start off? I started off here, and I just did some imagination flowers, and I really liked how that came out quite a bit. Then I did this one, and I wasn't very happy with it, so I grabbed a black brush pen and just tried to find some edges and some petals and make a little bit more more structure out of it, because it was just looking really blah. And then I just did some filler foliage there to help fill up the page, because it was kind of just also not sitting in the page right. Big thanks to my a friend Rosie for making me this book. She's a student of mine, and I thought that was very sweet. I really love this paper. It's a Arches paper and handmade book, and unfortunately she does not sell them. So I asked her, she had an Etsy shop, and she just makes them when she feels like it for who she feels like. So I'm really enjoying the sketchbook. And then I was just doodling. I was just doodling some Christmas motifs. I wasn't feeling that inspired, but I just kind of felt like playing with the paint. So I did that, and I also did these little roses here, which they were kind of a hot mess, but as with always with the loose florals, I find that they look a lot better the next day. So if you are painting loose flowers, maybe you're working through my watercolor flower workshop, the paintings look better the next day with that loose technique. I'm not sure why. I think it's because we get fussy and annoyed when we're painting, and then we forget about how annoyed we were, and we look at it with fresh eyes, and then it's like, hey, that's not so bad after all. This was I picked up another blue jay feather and just did a quick sketch, and it started to rain, and I just did a little quick sketch from sitting by the fire pit by the water, just from what I saw in front of me. This, I really like that. I think I'm going to do a tutorial for that on Wednesday, because I really like how that came out. That was just the amount of looseness that I wanted every time I painted the water lilies over vacation, and that was the last water lily I did, and I really liked it. This, again, was using that technique where everything above the water has pen and everything below the water or reflections does not, and I think that really helped just kind of separate those two visual planes, the above the water and below the water. It's kind of neat, kind of like when a film director makes one world a different color, or makes a flashback have a sepia tone or something. I don't know, it just separates it. This was just practicing earlier this week. I've been working on my watercolor glass class all week, and I was just kind of fooling around and doing a little practicing with that in my sketchbook. That's not in the class. But it was fun to paint. Maybe I think I'm planning on doing a live stream on Friday to launch the class, so maybe I'll do a painting of this. That might be fun. I think so. We could do that in an hour. No problem. That would be just a fun little exercise. It's a perfume bottle, actually. Well, that didn't take any time at all, so why don't we flip through an older sketchbook? Would that be fun? Okay, so first 5 minutes were the vacation sketches. Let's look through a finished, completed sketchbook. I jump around. I don't work in order. So like it takes me a long time to finish a sketchbook because I bounce around a lot. And I generally will put my good work on one side and scrap on the other. So in case I want to ever cut apart a sketchbook, I won't have to decide between the A and B side of a piece of paper. This was a conglomeration of vegetables from a seed catalog. I just took like, 5 different photos and put them together. This was just some colored pencil practice and some doodling. A lot of doodling. I mean, these aren't going to be all like gorgeous pages. This was sketching out with the Stampin' Up! Watercolor pencils, which I don't recommend. They weren't that great. And just some little seashells I did with them. Oh, this was candy. I really enjoyed doing this. It was I don't know where I got this candy from, but I just loved it. I thought it was so pretty. I think it was one of the kids' candies. But I like that a lot. Oh, that was another little practice for my glass class. This didn't make it into the class, but it was a fun little exercise to do. This is a lotion bottle that I actually have in my living room because I need to lotion my hands all the time. I have dry skin. Just a ring. Some of these you probably remember from different tutorials or Sketchbook Sundays in the past. This was a rainbow rose. I think I might have done that for a video, and I'm pretty sure I did this for a video. So, you'll have to scroll back. Search Sketchbook Sunday on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of these illustrations. I don't remember if I did a video for that or not. I'm not sure. I think I did a video for that. I'm not sure if it was a Sketchbook Sunday. Oh, this one was so fun. I love how this turned out. A little chickadee. I love to paint chickadees. They're just so sweet. And they're the main state bird, and we have them all over the place. I do have a tutorial on this. I think it was a Facebook Live I did. It was Inktense. And for some reason, I had my sketchbook turned around so it's upside down. Sketchbooks do not have to be perfect, people. So, just play and have fun. This, I was using it as my palette on the B side, and just painted some more strawberries here. This was acrylic pen, mostly acrylic and pens, I think. And that was just a person. Not a very good one, but a person. This was a bouquet that we gave my mother for Mother's Day a couple of years ago. There's some orchids, and this was actually an arrangement. There was like this plant, and it had an orchid, and it had some like Christmas cactus in it. And I think the Christmas cactus is still kicking, but the orchid had died back, and I couldn't revive it. There's some apple blossoms, I believe, from a photo that I took on a walk one day. A lupin, which is a flower that's very prevalent in Maine in the early summer. Just some, loose doodly flowers, more loose doodly flowers. Those are in the watercolor flower workshop. I'll try to remember to link that down below so that you can check it out if you're interested. Bunch of different flowers. I probably was doing a lot of these doodles while I was creating that course. Hollyhocks. I love hollyhocks. That's kind of how I work. Like I'll get like all obsessed when I'm working on a class, and then everything is like that. I'm working on that subject everywhere. Maybe I should do a food class because we've got a burger here. That was gouache. That's messy. That was pastel and charcoal. I wasn't that happy. That was from a photograph I took in my sister's garden, but I was not that thrilled with how it came out. It was frustrating. So I can remember some of the frustrations. This was like Arteza brush pens and acrylic paint pen, or maybe just gel pen and a color pencil. Mixed media piece there. This was a cookie. I actually baked this cookie, and I drew the cookie from life, and I used the Jane Davenport neutral palette and some pen and some colored pencils, and I really like how that came out. Raspberry turnovers. Those actually picked up at the bakery, and I had to sketch them before they got eaten because I love the buttery flaky crust. And I think there's a tutorial on that. This was awful. I wasn't happy with how this came out. It was a mess, and I'm not sure. There might be a video on this. If there is, I apologize to the world, to YouTube. Gouache chicken. That one was fun. That was a Sketchbook Sunday and a Critique Club project. I like painting chickens. Just another, I often will paint roses when I don't know what to paint, when I'm just kind of fooling around. This, I like this. It's very simple, but it's just some ink, seagulls. I don't know why, I enjoyed sketching that. It didn't take any time, but there's just something about that. I really like that design. I don't know what brought that about, but I enjoy it. I think I like the rhythm of the different birds kind of going across the page. Oh, that I did. I followed along with Becca Hilburn over at Natto Soup. She did a quick expression, like cartoon tutorial, and I was just sketching along. So I had my sketchbook with me, watching one of her videos. I'll try to find that and link it for you. It was really awesome. I don't really do like comic booky stuff, but it's fun to try something new every once in a while. This was an amaryllis that we had one year growing. It's sadly no longer with us. I can't ever keep them alive beyond like their one cycle. I've tried, and all I get is the leaves. I'm not sure why. That was more from Becca's video. I just did another like page of sketches. This is oil pastel avocado. Oh, I'm going to be using some oil pastel soon. This was playing with the Zorn palette, which is yellow ochre, cad red, ultramarine blue, white, and black. And I was just kind of playing with gouache because I got the Savoir Faire gouache in a Smart Art box, and I was just kind of fooling around with it and seeing how it worked. This was another gouache. It was the jelly gouache cups. It was the first time I used those, I think. I think it's a tutorial on that. There might be a tutorial on the geranium. I think so. Maybe a time lapse. I'm not sure. Oh, I love doing this one. This was fun. I love to paint food. I'm not happy with this like mound that the bowl is sitting on, but I liked this whole thing, and I was kind of in this phase of cooking where I was making, well, I was dieting. I dieted almost all of 2019, lost 30 pounds. It was so difficult. But I was doing a lot of cooking of like really fresh foods and just trying to like eliminate most of the fat from my diet. And so I was like making these like these vegetable and rice and ramen bowls and things, and so yeah, I was kind of into that as well. So my artwork does reflect my life quite a bit, I guess. There's a fig. I like beautiful food. These are some pears from my mom's pear tree, or actually it might have been my sister's pear tree. One of them. They have green thumbs. They can grow anything. They toss some seeds over their shoulder and like a garden appears. It's annoying. It's very annoying. So right now they're doing all this canning because of their bounty, and I can barely get basil to grow in a pot in full sun in my front yard. This was a hand holding an ice cream cone, and this is actually the sketch that spawned my Inktober theme of drawing hands. It was actually a viewer suggestion that they wanted to get better doing hands. I wanted to get better doing hands. I'm like, Inktober, great idea. And this was one of my Inktober sketches for the prompt mindless, somebody mindlessly scrolling on their phone. It was mixed media. I only have a couple of the hand illustrations from Inktober because I was just, sitting on my couch working on them, not even really, it was personal project stuff. Same here, the topic was bait. This was build. It was just an ink and wash type deal. This is probably my favorite sketch of the whole book. This was, I don't remember what the prompt was. It was an Inktober prompt. Maybe it was sew, maybe it was stitch. I don't remember, but it's mixed media. I did a sketch with, I think I did marker, color pencil, pen, and then I stamped with clear ink these pattern pieces, and I chalked it. So it was fun. I really enjoyed that one. And that was the day I actually took my son to get his permanent driver's license because he had passed his test, and you have to bring your temporary one in to get a permanent one. I don't know why I remember these things. The art makes it seal into my head. Sleepy Hollow, that was for Legend, I think was the prompt that day. That was early on in Inktober. That hand's pretty messed up. This was Wild, I think. Oh yeah, I wrote it down. I like that one a lot. I like the different colors, the purples and the skin. And that's it for that sketchbook. Well, that's something, right? That's something. I love finishing a sketchbook. It's fun because like it seems like when I finish a sketchbook, I'll have like 4 or 5 done all at once because it'll be when because I jump around from book to book. And like these blue ones here, they're always in my travel bag, and the only times I use them are when I'm like out and about. And so like this is the peonies in my mom's yard. This was Sandy Point Beach. My daughters were just kind of sitting, playing in the sand a couple of years ago. And actually those were flip-flops my daughter Lila drew. This was some flower. I'm not sure what it was, but I gessoed over the page because it was bad. And these were flip-flops, and they turned to pickle flops. They're, again, Lila's work. There's some rocks. So, this was waiting for lunch. I'd gone to lunch by myself, and I was just kind of sketching at the restaurant waiting for my food. So these only happen in this sketchbook when I'm on vacation or I'm traveling and I'm using my, I think that was a flower for my beach towel actually. So these only happen when I'm away. And this was Scudic Point. I think I might have done those last year at camp. I did that at camp. I was sitting and there was a dented Coke can. I thought that was fun. That was sky that I was seeing that day. Mushrooms and whatever those plants are. They're trillium maybe, I'm not sure. And I did end up doing a tutorial of that when I got back. Actually I might have done that one in the studio. And this one I did out in the backyard from a turkey feather that I picked up on my walk a couple weeks ago. This was at the rope swing. This is, I was using the portable palette micro. I didn't really have a lot of time to sketch that and there wasn't a lot of value contrast, but I was just looking into the woods and did that sketch, and they were up to date with our frogs. Oh, we can take a look at this one too, why not? It'll be a long Sketchbook Sunday. When I picked up this, the first time I used this, I was waiting for my daughter to, she was doing a like a skills day basketball practice thing up near the University of Maine, and there was this like park up there in Orono, and I just sat there and sketched all day while she was doing her thing. So I'd be available when she was ready to be picked up, and I just kind of sat in different spots in the park and sketched the river. That was just doodling at a friend's house. I didn't really have a plan. These were from park. That's my daughter Maisie. At camp, sitting in one of the chairs and doing a sticker by number book, and those were some fruit that we had on one of the bowls from camp. These are some of another upside down one. These were just some of the ferns and plants that that were growing that I just sketched. Just sat down next to them and sketched them, and just some more doodle flowers because I didn't know what to paint apparently. There's a squirrel that started, but he moved, and then I couldn't draw a squirrel from memory because I don't draw them enough. And just, you know, that was a memory cupcake and cherries. So some things you get used to drawing so you can do them from memory. Other things, it's like, yeah, I can't remember how to draw a squirrel. I don't know. Have I ever seen a squirrel before? Like, I've seen a million of them, but I've never really looked at them, so I can't just draw a squirrel from memory and have it look like a squirrel. I could do, like, maybe a cartoony one. And this was the view over the pond one day before it rained. And that was some sort of animal. I can't remember what. Maybe penny. I don't know. Maybe a cat. I can't even tell. It was a quick sketch, but then they moved and there was an imagination mermaid. Not a real mermaid. I didn't have a real mermaid posing for me. And then I did have a couple sketches. This was from New Year's. This was a gouache sketch I did in the, it was so cold. I did the sketch outdoors. Back in February or March, snow on the ground. This is at Fields Pond, and I could barely stand it. My hands were so cold. I had gloves with fingerless gloves, and I was freezing. So that did not come out very well. I couldn't take it. I do kind of like the colors as an abstract. I like it as an abstract now, but as the actual painting, I didn't like it. Have a tutorial for that. I was testing out the new Altenew palette for that, I think. And oh, I guess I did do this one in studio. This was a World Watercolor Month. I kind of crapped out on World Watercolor Month this year. Did not fulfill that obligation. Not that it was an obligation, but I certainly didn't keep up with it. And you've probably seen those as Sketchbook Sunday videos and random tutorials on my channel. And there, we're caught up. So hey, we did a little flip through of a couple of our sketchbooks here, and that's all I have for today. I will have, I think, an oil pastel painting for you next week on Sketchbook Sunday. I've ordered myself a little treat, some Sennelier oil pastels, and I am very excited to try them. I've wanted them for years, and I just finally splurged this morning, kind of a belated birthday present. So they should be arriving hopefully by next weekend because I really want to use them. So I'm kind of sure that's what I'm going to use for Sketchbook Sunday. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I will be launching a new class later this week, so keep your eyes open for that. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye-bye.